$6,800 to apply.
Blue Cash from American Express. It's blue with a lot of green.
You have contractors in LA, assemblers in Atlanta, and a deadline in Houston. We can design, deliver, and manage your communications for all of them, across platforms, across America. Consider the dots connected. SBC.
The perfect gift for a grad who's made the grade? A Dell PC. Give your grad a PC that was rated A+ for service and reliability. Like this Dimension desktop with the power and performance of an Intel Pentium 4 processor. It's just $499 after mail-in rebate. And right now, get a free CD burner. Notebooks start at $799. But hurry, these offers end June 9th, and they're only a click or call away. Easy as Dell. Dell PCs use Intel Pentium 4 processors.
This is the closest thing to crazy I have ever been. Feeling 22, acting 17. This is the nearest thing to crazy I have ever known. I was never crazy on my own, and now
month after month, year after year, more Americans watch CNN than any other news channel. Another reason why CNN is the most trusted name in news.
Closed captioning provided by Mutual of Omaha Insurance and Financial Services.
It's our mission to help you provide for the ones you love. Insurance and financial services from Mutual of Omaha. Begin today.
President Ronald Reagan embraced one final time in his home state. Now the emotional farewell goes to Washington. President Bush with world leaders on Sea Island. Will his fiercest critics now rally around his plan for Iraq? And a huge debate springing up in Washington. What did the Attorney General tell the president about torture and interrogations? We'll look for the answer on this American Morning.
This is American Morning with Soledad O'Brien and Bill Hemmer.
Good morning. Welcome back, everybody. Bill Hemmer is in Washington, D.C. this morning. He's watching the funeral preparations for President Reagan. We'll check in with him in just a moment. Some of the other stories we're following as well this morning. Jeff Toobin joining us to talk about the Scott Peterson trial. Some pretty dramatic testimony yesterday from members of Laci Peterson's family. They talked about their earliest suspicions, and we'll take a look at how the defense responded. Also this morning, J.Lo made it into 90 Second Pop again. It's going to be okay, Jack. Don't worry. We're taking a look at her wedding. Did it really happen or did it not? Figure out why we can't get a straight answer about J.Lo. I'm done. That's it. That's all you have to listen to about J.Lo.
It's just painful. The question of the day, up there in Boston, Massachusetts, where they're going to have the Democratic National Convention this summer, they're going to begin random searches of passengers' bags and checking IDs on the city's commuter trains and subways. Good idea or no? Part of the war on terror. am@cnn.com is the address. I'm going to go downstairs and drive nails in the back of my hand to take my head off the J.Lo story.
I think you secretly really like it.
No,
You're just not
I
admitting
secretly really don't. I secretly have much stronger opinions about it than I'm allowed to express on a family television program.
I appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jack. Let's go out to Bill in Washington, D.C. Good morning, Bill.
All right, Selena, good morning to you. We moved across the country last night as the focus shifts to Washington. An amazing twist of irony. Back in 1981, when Ronald Reagan came and was sworn into office, he physically moved the inauguration proceedings from the east side of the Capitol building to the west side so that he could honor his roots looking west back toward California. Now the east side of the Capitol building is under construction. A massive visitor center is being built. Therefore, later this evening, when the president's body is flown here, his casket will be brought up those same Capitol building steps where the First Lady, Nancy Reagan, will be waiting there at the top of those steps to greet him and that casket carrying him. Meanwhile, we're looking west this morning. Final preparations are being made at the library in Simi Valley, California. Candy Crowley up early out there, live in Simi Valley with more from there. Candy, good morning.
a couple of hours. Former First Lady Nancy Reagan and the president's children will be arriving here to escort President Reagan's body back to Washington for one final trip to the East Coast. We expect that to happen around 11:15 Eastern Time this morning. They will begin, bring the casket out here with a military escort, and then go on to Point Mugu. That is where Reagan flew in and out of his home in Santa Barbara during his presidency. About a 4-hour trip from there, and at about 5 o'clock, they expect he will arrive at Andrews Air Force Base. He'll be flying aboard a special Air Mission 28000, as they've been calling it. It's a Boeing 747. It has been used as Air Force One. That will be escorting the president's body home, at least to his Washington home. Then we expect a procession in Washington, a horse-drawn carriage carrying the coffin of the former president, taking him up to the Capitol, where he will lie in state. That is expected to begin about 6 o'clock. Again, on Eastern Time. Californians had their final chance to say goodbye to their former governor and, of course, the former president. We're told about 100,000 people from California and points beyond filed by the casket of the president here at his library in Simi Valley. We were told about 33 hours straight they lined up to come and see and say their final respects. One of those that came to see the former president is John Kerry, the presumptive Democratic nominee who was out here for his daughter's graduation from film school. Kerry came by, was allowed, of course, to cut into the line, spent about a minute beside the coffin, placing his hand over his heart, making the sign of the cross, and then moved on. Kerry, we are told, is also expected to be at the funeral Friday in Washington, D.C. We want to show you a live picture now, too, of where people have left their tokens of appreciation to the president outside the gates of the library. There are coming in posters, American flags, private messages, flowers, stuffed animals, people's way of saying goodbye, people's way of saying thank you. So California has had its chance, at least Californians, public citizens, had their chance to come by and say goodbye. As you know, Bill, the president's body will return here, in fact, to the library for a private burial on Friday. Bill?
Candy, thanks for that. Candy Crowley in Simi Valley. Meanwhile, back here in Washington, Lieutenant Colonel Tracy Bryan is Regimental Deputy Commander of the Old Guard at Fort Myer, Virginia. They have a huge task throughout the next couple of days. He'll be leading the 1st Marching Unit in the Reagan funeral procession later today. He's our guest now. Colonel, good morning to you.
Thank you.
Where are you in relation to the casket, the caisson?
I will be leading the 1st March Unit, the first of 2 March units, so I will be near the head of the main funeral procession. The caisson and the casket will be at the rear of the funeral procession with the motorcade.
There will be a black horse that will stand out, a horse by the name of Sergeant York. Tell us about this horse and the involvement today.
Sergeant York was donated to the Old Guard in 1997. Since that time, we've used Sergeant York as our comparison horse. Our riderless horse. He participates in funerals in Arlington Cemetery on a regular basis.
The Reagans have veto power essentially over everything that happens today. Nancy Reagan has been very active for years in the planning. Have you had to do anything special as a result of the request from the family?
There is a generic special state funeral plan which we rehearse on several occasions throughout the course of the year, and this particular plan has been tailored based on the Reagan family wishes to meet family requirements.
Do you expect any moments? I mean, certainly there were a number of things that we're all going to watch over the next 2.5 days, but many people harken back to 1963 and John F. Kennedy Jr. standing there at attention as his father passed.
Certainly those of us who are participating in the funeral proceedings feel the spirit of the American public as we participate in this funeral. We can't avoid that, and there will be special moments, and it will occur for different people at different times. For the service members who are participating in the funeral, many of us conduct funerals in Arlington Cemetery on a daily basis, and there have been a lot of special moments over the last couple of years, especially since 9/11, as a lot of our great heroes have been laid to rest. And so the pride and honor that we feel when we participate in funerals in Arlington Cemetery, we're going to feel that again this week as we bury President Reagan.
This is a big moment for you, isn't it?
It is. It is. It's been 30 years since there was a state funeral of this magnitude, the first time here in D.C., and so it's a big event.
Thank you, and good luck. Lieutenant Colonel Tracy Bryant. Nice to talk to you this morning here in Washington. Also, to our viewers, stay with CNN. Starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, about 2 hours from now, our live coverage Remembering Ronald Reagan will begin. Later in the day, a special report on the state funeral of Ronald Reagan. That comes your way at 4:30 Eastern Time, 1:30 back in Simi Valley. Back to Soledad now in New York. Soledad?
All right, Bill, thanks. The UN is backing the U.S.-British plan for handing over power to Iraq. The Security Council voted unanimously in favor of it yesterday on what was also the first day of the G8 summit in Georgia. Senior White House correspondent John King live for us in Savannah, Georgia today. The UN vote, obviously good news, John, for the White House, but literally and specifically, what kind of effect do you think that vote's going to have on the summit?
Well, in terms of the tone and the atmospherics, it has already had a dramatic effect, Soledad. You had the president of Russia yesterday, Vladimir Putin, a fierce critic of the war in Iraq, a fierce critic of President Bush and how the diplomacy before the war played out, called this a major step, applauded Mr. Bush's leadership in getting the resolution through at the United States and United Nations. Mr. Bush sat down with German Chancellor Gerhard Schroeder. He refused for months to speak to Mr. Schroeder because of his outspoken opposition to the war in Iraq. Everyone described it as the warmest meeting they have had in years and said all the bitterness is behind. These two countries and two leaders are close friends again. Now, how does that atmospherics affect what is done? No one at the White House is expecting Russia, France, or Germany to send new troops into Iraq, but they do expect some quick help at reducing Iraq's debt, and they also expect those countries to now help the president as he tries to sell other initiatives here at the G8 summit and in other international forums. So, Soledad, overnight, the mood has changed dramatically. We'll see in the next few days of this summit whether that turns into just nice talk or actually nice results.
And of course, it's ironic because Iraq really isn't technically on the agenda at all, is it?
Well, there is a broader Middle East initiative on the agenda, though, the president trying to push the G8 to endorse, and this will happen later today, his call for all of the governments in the Middle East to do more economic reforms, political reforms, empowering their people. The president says that is the long-term cure to all this unrest that causes terrorism. Give people a strong economy, give people democratic political rights, and you will see much less terrorism. And the representatives of the new Iraqi government will be here for that session. The president just said in a meeting with British Prime Minister Tony Blair that he will tell the Iraqi government, the new interim government, that he is pulling for them, and the United States will do all it can. And what is significant from the president's view is when he says that now, that the United States will do all it can, he can point around the room and say, all of these people who oppose the war, they're promising to help you too.
John King for us this morning. John, thanks. It's now 12 minutes past the hour. Time to take a look at some of today's other news with Heidi Collins. Good morning again.
Good morning, Soledad, and good morning to you, everybody. The Pentagon is reportedly increasing the number of U.S. forces in Iraq. According to USA Today, around 145,000 troops could be in Iraq this summer. That's up from the 140,000 now stationed there. A senior official claims force levels could go even higher as the tours of duty for Marines already in Iraq are extended. Pakistani security forces battling suspected al-Qaeda members. The clash is happening now near the border with Afghanistan. Intelligence sources say at least 8 foreign fighters have been killed. Reports of rockets and mortars still being exchanged in the area. U.S. intelligence agencies, not individuals, are reportedly being blamed for not detecting the September 11th terrorist attacks. That's according to members of the commission investigating the attacks, interviewed by the Associated Press. The panel cites intelligence failures and communication breakdowns leading up to the catastrophe. The panel's final report is due July 26th, but portions have already been sent to the White House. In sports now, the Lakers win Game 2 of the NBA Finals. The series with the Detroit Pistons now tied 1 game apiece. Kobe Bryant scored a 3-point shot with just seconds left to send the game into overtime. The final score there, 99-91. Game 3 will be played in Detroit tomorrow. And in Florida, a goof. Yesterday's Tampa Tribune carried this mistaken editorial. Quote, the Tampa Bay Lightning didn't win the National Hockey League Stanley Cup last night, but the team had a championship series nevertheless. Tampa Bay actually beat the Calgary Flames Monday night 2-1. The newspaper publisher says it's still not clear how the mistake happened and apologizes to its readers and the team. Yeah, a goof, I guess. Back over to you, Soledad.
Obviously the editor, not a hockey fan. All right,
Yeah.
Heidi, thanks a lot. More testimony today in Scott Peterson's double murder trial as the prosecution continues to try to build its case. Yesterday, jurors heard Laci Peterson's stepfather tell of how the family's suspicions about Scott Peterson grew after Laci vanished. CNN senior legal analyst Jeff Toobin with more on that testimony and also how the case is going so far. Good morning.
Good morning.
And what do you think was the most interesting thing from the stepfather's testimony yesterday?
Well, it's really no one smoking gun a piece of evidence in this case. It's an accumulation of suspicious facts about his behavior. You know, he says he was a fisherman, but Scott bought a fishing boat and never told him about it. This fishing boat, according to the prosecution, is the instrument of murder. It was purchased by Scott Peterson, says the prosecution, in order to use it to kill his wife. He didn't tell his stepfather-in-law that he bought this boat. You would have thought a fellow fisherman, he would have taught the same thing. That's the kind of facts that it's being accumulated.
But for all the ado about, who goes fishing on Christmas Eve, actually, the stepfather said in cross-examination he went fishing on Christmas Eve.
Quite a surprise in the courtroom yesterday. This is one of the arguments that's been made, not so much by the prosecutors, but sort of in the public. It's like, come on, what kind of ridiculous story is it that you go fishing on a cold Christmas Eve morning? In fact, the stepfather went fishing, although, as he pointed out, he went to a nearby fishing place, not
in the afternoon,
right, and not 50 miles away in the Berkeley Marina.
All this various family testimony that's been fairly emotional about Scott and his behavior that they describe as distant and unemotional and disinterested when they were all searching frantically for Laci. What kind of impact does that really have on the case?
It's hard to say. The prosecutors did not begin this in the conventional way for a murder case. In a murder case, usually the prosecutors begin with, here is the victim, here is the body, this is how he or she was found, look at the terrible wounds, look at what happened here. Instead, the prosecutors are sort of going in chronological order. She was missing, this is how Scott behaved. It's not as compelling, frankly. It's not as dramatic, and the evidence is susceptible to both incriminating and not incriminating interpretations.
It sounds like you're saying you don't love what the prosecution's doing so far. You're not impressed by their take on this?
There's a long way to go in this case. They have the opportunity to put in a lot more evidence, but no, I'm not terribly impressed so far.
Well, as you say, a long way to go.
Yes, months.
A lot more evidence going to come up.
Right.
Right. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. Time to check on the weather now. Chad Myers at the CNN Center for us this morning. Hey, Chad, good morning again.
Good morning, Soledad. Some rain now across parts of Texas, Oklahoma, right on up into Milwaukee. Had some airport delays there, about 15 minutes in Milwaukee because of those thunderstorms. We could see some thunderstorms along a cold front across the Northeast today. That would be a welcome relief for some folks. Philadelphia, New York, and Boston, you guys are all going to be in the 90s. In fact, Boston, the warmest day of the year so far, 94. Now this front gets into motion by tomorrow night into Friday, and look what happens to your 94. It goes to 69. Philadelphia, 75. Philadelphia and D.C. right there at the middle 70 mark. A very pleasant weekend coming up for the Northeast. Not so today. 91 Washington, 92 in New York City, and even 88 in Cincinnati. And this is a very muggy heat across the east. Strong storms in parts of West Texas, western Nebraska. A cool day in San Francisco. The cool air is here, and the warm air is here. It's kind of spreading and cutting the country in half. The jet stream taking a dip in the west and making a big bubble in the east, and that bubble making obviously much warmer air. Warm and humid here. The storms all the way from the Great Lakes right on back into Chicago, and more flooding rain from Dallas right on down to Brownsville. Soledad, back to you.
All right, Chad, thanks a lot. Time to check in with Jack and the question of the day.
Thank you, ma'am. Boston gearing up for the Democratic National Convention in a few weeks. The city's transit system will be the first in the nation to begin to randomly search passengers' bags and check their identification. Transit police will search riders on subway and commuter trains beginning next month. The American Civil Liberties Union says the program might violate the Constitution's ban on unreasonable search and seizure. I think that's the Fourth Amendment. So the question is this: is the random searching of train passengers a good idea? Tim writes from Boston, I refuse to comply with them. It's about time someone stood up to the growing police state in this country. Whatever happened to the proposition that giving up our rights by giving into our fears means letting the terrorists win? Ernest in Ohio, the ACLU has done more to destroy this country than anyone else. We're at war. Searches are okay in my book. If you have nothing to hide, then you have nothing to worry about. Jack in Pittsburgh, I can't imagine that random searches will accomplish anything. Anyone planning an attack would likely have other options. This is simply an effort to make appearances of being vigilant against terrorism. And Andrew in Pine Forest, Texas offers this one. Like so much else related to the new order of things since September 11th, random bag searches will be unpopular until a train is bombed, and then we can start the investigations into why they weren't done. AM@CNN.com will do maybe one more batch of these.
And you know, Andrew is exactly right. I mean, if anything happened, there'd just be investigation after investigation into why the ball was dropped.
Sure.
Interesting. All right, Jack, thanks.
Sure.
Still to come this morning, Congressman Dick Gephardt gave up his bid for the White House months ago, but you might be able to hold on to those Gephardt for President signs after all. We'll explain in just a moment. Also, the Attorney General in the hot seat over al-Qaeda prisoners. We're going to talk with Senator Patrick Leahy, find out what he wants to hear from Ashcroft. And what do everyday Saudis think about Osama bin Laden? The answer might be a little bit troubling. We're back after this short break.
Today, join CNN for evening-long coverage of the state funeral of Ronald Reagan, followed by a Larry King Live exclusive with George and Barbara Bush. Starts today, 4:30 Eastern.
As you race to move ahead in this busy world, sometimes it's easy to lose track of your neighbors whose lives have taken a different turn. But there's a simple way you can help give these lives new direction.
This is Father Joe Carroll. Your support has helped us change the lives of tens of thousands of people through our comprehensive programs and services.
Make a gift of your car, boat, truck, motorcycle, van, or RV, and together with Father Joe, we can change lives. To learn more, call 1-888-FATHER-JOE.
You know what I don't get? Why does it cost so much?
$20 a month for internet access. That's expensive.
And what's with all these pop-ups? What is that?
You know, I just want to surf the web and check a few emails without paying a fortune.
Hey, I get complete internet access and email for half the price of AOL. It's only $9.95 a month.
Who can do that?
You know, Juno. Go to Juno.com.
Additional phone charges may apply.
Exclusive President George H.W. and Barbara Bush on Ronald Reagan, Larry King, CNN 9 Eastern.
Spin, spin, spin the globe. It's your turn to spin the globe. Spin it, spin it, spin it.
All around the world, Siemens is helping people work together, even when they're not together. From next-generation internet to mobile business solutions, we're giving people the freedom to communicate better.
Spin, spin, spin the globe. It's your turn to spin the globe.
Don't you wish you could find a website called warmwonderfulwater.com? Or that you could log on to backwhereyouwereborn.com? Or maybe, hey mom, look what I found.com? And how about weekendjustfor2.com? Well, those websites don't exist, but that's okay. Because all you really need is alamo.com. There are over 4 million miles of roads in Alamo country, and with our best prices always at alamo.com, they're easy to explore. Alamo, the official rental car of the American vacation.
Most people will tell you the market opens at 9:30 a.m.
It depends on which market you're talking about.
It's all about the details. The after-hours conference call. Complacency.
Complacency is an investor's worst enemy.
You have to have the will, the ability,
the discipline,
the foresight
to adapt.
I've been with Smith Barney for 2711 for 18 years.
Because we work in the manner that best suits our clients' needs. Smith Barney.
This is who we are. This is how we earn it.
American Morning is brought to you by Smith Barney. This is who we are. This is how we earn it.
Welcome back to Washington, D.C. for this special edition of American Morning. We are live in the nation's capital today. Having traveled across the country late last night, now the Capitol building, as you see, about 11 hours away. The public will then be able to pay their final respects as the casket of the late President Ronald Reagan will be brought and sitting in that rotunda building The next 3 days really loaded with tradition and loaded with history. We will see an awful lot of the influence of Nancy Reagan as well. The planning for these services has really been underway for almost 15 years. In 1989, when the Reagans left the White House, they are, according to custom, required to file some sort of funeral planning or get the process in motion anyway. So that started way back in 1989. And the tradition here is truly tremendous. Ronald Reagan's body, once it lies in state in the Capitol Rotunda, will sit on a wooden platform that was used for Abraham Lincoln back in 1865. And you will hear so much about the tradition and the history as we move forward over the next 2.5 days. The other thing you're going to hear an awful lot about is the level of security here in Washington, D.C. It has been 31 years since this city held a state funeral going back to President Johnson in 1973. But it is the first event of this size. Many argue that we have seen in this town since 9/11, going back 2.5 years ago. So that is a subplot as we move forward in the events later this afternoon and into the evening hours. Also in California, Senator John Kerry paying his respects to the former president. He was there yesterday for a brief time. Senator Kerry suspending his regular campaign events this week while the observances for Ronald Reagan's funeral go on. The Democratic candidate will be at the Washington National Cathedral on Friday when President Bush delivers the eulogy for the former president. They're saying 106,000 came to that area in Simi Valley, each one given this placard as a memento to recognize their presence there for the late Ronald Reagan, with gratitude for your expression of sympathy and honoring the life of Ronald Wilson Reagan. Ronald Reagan Presidential Library in Simi Valley, California. Last night on CNN, if you saw this program, Larry King had Gerald Ford and Betty Ford on last night, taking time to remember Ronald Reagan. Here is how President Ford remembered in part last night here on CNN.
I look upon Ronald Reagan's career. Number one, he was a firm believer in the strength of the United States and as a nation that was going to be the leader of the free world. Secondly, he firmly believed in the ideology that was the prevailing point of view in the United States. He had firm views that I admired, I respected, and he was a great statesman who we miss very badly.
President Gerald Ford from Colorado last night with Larry King, now at the age of 90. Mr. Ford said he and his wife Betty will attend Reagan's funeral in Washington come Friday morning. So we will all watch the history unfold. It's going to be amazing 2.5 days, Soledad, and one just wonders what the images will be captured over this period of time here in our nation's capital. It's going to be truly amazing to watch. A part of history, no question.
Yeah, no question about that. All right, Bill, thanks. Still to come this morning, the ongoing romantic adventures of J-Lo. J-Lo and Mark Anthony keep the rumor mill churning. All of us, of course, guessing. So is she or isn't she? 90-second pop just ahead on American Morning.
Coverage of America Votes 2004 is sponsored by AT&T, the world's networking company. For in-depth analysis of this year's presidential race, log on to cnn.com/election.
In a world where business can't make a move without a network, wouldn't it be great to have a network that can actually move your business? Because the right networking partner can do more than just move data. It can move people, products, and entire industries forward. Can your network do this? It can if it's designed by the world's networking company, AT&T.
This is the closest thing to crazy I have ever been. Feeling 22, acting 17. This is the nearest thing to crazy I have ever known. I was never crazy.
On sale at Borders for $12.99.
Hotel questions you want answered. Is my hotel close to stuff I want to see? We'll tell you. Do they have a fun pool? We'll tell you. How about a health club? We'll tell you. We're the experts at Hotels.com. And if you book right now, we'll give you up to $30 back towards a free tank of gas. You'll also get great summer deals on hotels, like New York, from just $69.95. Get great rates on great rooms and some free gas to help you get there. Hotels.com. Best prices, best places, guaranteed.
Every day you challenge the status quo. Looking further. Breaking new ground. You demand more. And Deutsche Bank, as a leading financial institution, shares your passion. Aiming higher. Pushing harder. That's why the world's most demanding clients trust Deutsche Bank to perform. Deutsche Bank, a passion to perform.
The opening bell is brought to you by Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank, a passion to perform.
Picture again from the Presidential Library in Simi Valley, just a short time.
When you can have this.
Put your business on the fast track. Call Comcast Spotlight to find out more about advertising on cable.
In telling the story of my father's life, it's impossible to separate fact from the fiction, the man from the myth. The best I can do is to tell it the way he told me.
Bravo Company, go!
Big Fish is Tim Burton's masterpiece.
You are in for a surprise.
Order Big Fish on in-demand pay-per-view. Imaginative and unique. Catch Big Fish at home on Comcast.
More Americans watch CNN than any other news channel.
Excuse me, what is that?
ING, they offer a wide range of annuity products that could give you a stable stream of income.
I know what ING is. What is that?
Uh-oh. That's what being smart with your money can get you.
I said, old chap, shall we go to the club? The club? Yes, the club. The club, indeed. Indeed. Nice idea. Indeed. 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 Dog, watch yourself. Well, fuddle duds.
Ask your financial professional about annuities from ING.
If your outdoor cleanup projects never end up as clean as you hoped, meet your new best friend, the heavy-duty Husky 1750 Power Washer, only from the Home Depot.
Call, click, or visit today and see the difference between getting stuff wet and actually getting it clean. With over 17 times the power of the average garden hose. Just hook up to water and plug it in. Then start blasting away even the toughest grit and grime with 25% less water than a hose. Brighten up a dirty fence. Give siding new life. Get your Husky 1750 today for just $179. You'll get spray and turbojet nozzles, extra long hose and power cord, plus a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Order right now and shipping is free. So call, click, or visit your local Home Depot store today and finally start cleaning things up, not just rinsing them off.
The Home Depot. You can do it, we can help. Well, we now know that J-Lo has tied the knot for a third time to singer Marc Anthony, one of Kira's favorites, I might add. But apparently this time she has a bun in her rather curvaceous oven.
CNN's Judy Most takes a look at how the husband count stacks up against another glamorous serial spouse.
There's nothing low about J-Lo when it comes to counting husbands. Number 1 was a waiter. Number 2 was a choreographer. Number 3 is none other than Marc Anthony.
She likes being married. She seems to have a propensity for changing husbands.
J-Lo and Marc Anthony once sang a duet called Don't Love Me. He was dying, and already British bookmakers are predicting the death of their marriage, giving odds of 3-1 that they'll be over before the year is.
We're quite pessimistic about the chances. We think that J-Lo in many ways could be the new Liz Taylor.
Liz Taylor with her 8 marriages, 2 of them to Richard Burton, who actually played Marc Anthony in Cleopatra.
I will what? On your knees.
The Roman Marc Anthony knelt. The singer Marc Anthony stayed on his feet, promoting his new CD, but when asked about his marriage on The View...
I have nothing to say about anything.
My life is my life.
Though Matt Lauer noticed his ring.
What's this?
On the Today Show, if it hadn't been for Us Weekly's shots from a helicopter, we'd have no proof the wedding happened. The magazine says Ben Affleck, who himself came close to being husband number 3, gave 2 thumbs up when told of the marriage. Now there are reports that J-Lo is already pregnant.
We'll find out in about 9 months, won't we?
On Regis and Kelly,
This way she can just keep changing the name of the case.
comedian Carrot Top displayed a wedding photo of J-Lo that was a low blow, deserving of a blow a la Mark Antony. Jeannie Moe, CNN, New York.
As to the pregnancy thing, that is a rumor, and we'll find out 9 months or less. Who knows these days, right?
It's true. I guess
Yeah, got to be good with all the facts, large and small.
Okay. Well, how do we transition from that to air conditioning season?
There's no good way. Therefore, we press on. Let's press on, shall we? Rhonda Schaffler, bail us out once again. Our Ms. Wizard. Ms. Wizard, save us. Save us.
It's hot in New York. Okay,
Here's some news.
Oh, there you go. Hot topics, hot love affair.
There you go.
It's
In the
hot.
oven. Okay.
It's allegedly.
Allegedly.
Watch your language.
It's 91 degrees in New York, and you guys are used to that hot weather, but in New York, we're not, and it's a reminder that we are at the start of the air conditioning season, and the Energy Department says you might be seeing higher bills this summer. The average retail electricity prices this June, July, and August expected to climb by more than 3.5% from last summer. Prices will peak this month and then edge back down for the rest of summer. At least, though, this isn't as bad as what was going on a year ago. Prices were up about 5% compared to the previous year. Higher rates are due to higher demand and steep costs for the raw materials used to generate electricity, things like oil and natural gas. Kira, Miles?
Oil prices, I guess, cooling off today, too. Is that helping the market?
They are. They're holding fairly steady, but they've come down significantly from highs hit not too long ago. The government actually reported an increase in fuel inventories, so that's prompting oil prices to hover about $37 a barrel and change, well below the $40 that hit earlier. In fact, about $5 below the record high set last week. So that is helping to lift some fears about inflation and worries about how aggressive the Fed will be when it comes to raising interest rates. All this is not helping out stocks, though, at the moment. The Dow Jones Industrial Average has been retreating through the afternoon, off some 39 points. NASDAQ's down almost 1.5%. That is the latest from Wall Street. Coming up, think TV programming is too old for your toddler? Well, Tiny Tykes may soon have a network all for themselves. We're channel surfing later this hour. You shouldn't, though. CNN's Live From. We'll be right back.
Financial News Update is brought to you by the New York Stock Exchange. The world puts its stock in us.
Optimism has always been celebrated with a bell. And every day when this bell rings, it's a symbol of our pledge to serve the investor with new standards, new leadership, and a renewed commitment to being the best market on earth. It's your market, and there's only one trade that really matters here. Yours. The New York Stock Exchange.
This is a place you don't want to be. Not if your plaque or stains in your teeth and deep between. Because here you'll meet the new Sonicare Elite by Philips. With patented sonic technology, its bristle tips move 3 times faster than all other leading power toothbrushes for a cleaning experience unlike any other. Like that, only smaller. Sonicare Elite reaches deep between teeth and below the gum line. It reduces coffee, tea, and tobacco stains and reverses gingivitis. More dental professionals use the Sonicare brand themselves than any other power toothbrush for deep cleaning that goes beyond mere brushing. For whiter teeth and healthier gums in 28 days, guaranteed. Ask your dental professional about the new Sonicare Elite or visit us at sonicare.com. Stop brushing. Start Sonicare.
The perfect gift for a grad who's made the grade? A Dell PC. Give your grad a PC that was rated A+ for service and reliability. Like this Dimension desktop with the power and performance of an Intel Pentium 4 processor. It's just $499 after mail-in rebate. And right now, get a free CD burner. Notebooks start at $7.99. But hurry, these offers end June 9th, and they're only a click or call away. Easy as Dell. Dell PCs use Intel Pentium 4 processors. Want your perfect PC with award-winning service and support? Then you want a Dell. Call or go online now and get this Dimension desktop with an Intel Pentium 4 processor and 2 years at-home service for just $5.99 after mail-in rebate. This system also includes 256 megabytes of shared memory, plus get a free CD burner. For rock-solid 24/7 service and support, you're getting a Dell. This offer ends June 9th, and it's only a click or call away. Easy as Dell. Dell PCs use Intel Pentium 4 processors.
CNN Tonight exclusive. Former President George Herbert Walker Bush and Barbara Bush for the hour. In their only interview together on the death of Ronald Reagan, President and Mrs. Bush. A Larry King Live exclusive. CNN Tonight, 9 Eastern.
Checking headlines at this hour, jurors in McAlester, Oklahoma now deciding whether bombing conspirator Terry Nichols will spend life in prison or die. A state court last month convicted Nichols of helping Timothy McVeigh prepare a bomb that ultimately blew up the Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City in 1995. That attack killed 168 people. Police in Cologne, Germany say they don't yet know what caused an explosion that injured 11, one seriously. The blast occurred today near a barber shop in a mostly Turkish neighborhood. Trouble is brewing in Iraq over the transitional administrative law document backed by the Prime Minister's office. The country's top Shiite cleric opposes TAL because the unelected governing council passed it. But Kurdish leaders say if it's scrapped, they'll pull out of the interim government.
Clearing the air on Clear Channel Radio, what the FCC declared indecent radio talk has now turned into a record indecency settlement. The nation's largest radio station owner has reportedly reached a $1.7 million deal that resolves the rift between the FCC and Clear Channel Communications over syndicated shock jocks like Howard Stern and Atlanta's The Regular Guys, who, by the way, never got fined but did get yanked off the air. Former Regular Guy radio host Eric Von Hessler, now MadPundit.com creator, is with us to talk about this. Well, let's talk about Howard Stern being dumped for indecency and how that affected your show.
Well, I mean, we got in trouble. We would have been in trouble no matter the environment. We sort of delivered ourselves into the hands of our enemies because we tried to take on the FCC. Do you want me to tell you what got us knocked off the air in case people don't know?
Ooh, might as well. It's pretty indecent.
Well, it was
in my
rather.
opinion.
Well, the idea was that we were going to kind of take on the FCC because they were getting to the area where they were going to go after double entendre and things like this. So we decided we'll have the most graphic conversation possible with a porn star, and then we'll play it backward. It'll go over the air as gibberish, but we'll inform the FCC that this content happened and sort of dare them to come after us. One small mistake, somebody left a microphone open while we were doing it forward. It went out over the air and it was very, very graphic. So we would have been in trouble no matter what the situation in the country would have been. I don't think we would have lost our jobs, but for the whole Janet Jackson incident leading to the Howard Stern incident and basically companies like Clear Channel being scared out of their pants and having to basically do whatever they were told to do.